Hello, my fellow aliens. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, hi, I'm Jojo Rarity. So, the video today is going to be about my top 10 favorite movies in all times. Like, I always wanted to do this, I never got the chance to. I know, but now I can finally do it. And it was so hard to categorize only 10 movies in because I've got so many fave movies and I like so many kind of different movies like superhero movies and then horror movies and Disney movies. I know my taste is kind of weird sometimes, just like my music taste. It's like all over the place because I listen to almost not everything, but I guess so. Yeah, that's why it was hard to put this in one category. But maybe in the future, I'm gonna do like top 10 horror movies, top 10 Disney movies, top 10 superhero movies, and so on. So, yeah, I really want to do a more movie kind of video, I guess, because it's fun to do. And before I get started, I just want to say that it's my personal favorites. So if you don't like it, fine, but everyone have different tastes. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So, number 10 on my list is Deadpool. I guess I'm gonna say both parts because it's still one franchise, so I can't choose between 1 and 2. I think 2 was also pretty good. I only watched it once though. I watched Deadpool many times, but it's just so good. It's so funny also, and maybe I like it because kind of brutal. Because like the other Marvel movies, they're more like for kids made, but this one is because I like horror movies. That's why I like this one. He's like also like he's like an anti-hero because he's like killing people. And also, Ryan Reynolds played this part so well. I already loved him before Deadpool. I know many loved him because of Deadpool, but I know him before that. The first time I saw him was on Blade. I think it was the last part, Blade 3, I guess. And he was so hilarious in the part. He was kind of an asshole and talked so much. So I fell in love with him. And
Gonna be sorry you did that.
Why? Nobody's coming for you, king shit.
Sure they are. God. See, one of the things you fuckheads need to know about us Night Stalkers is that when you join our club, you get all sorts of groovy little door prizes.
and that's why Deadpool was really fit to be. He was born to play this role because he's like that in real life. I mean, he has these funny jokes and he talks a lot. Of course, minus the killing part, but in real life, it's kind of like he is Deadpool. So yeah, that's why I chose this my list. There's so many Marvel movies I love, so hard to put in one list. I also want to do a Marvel list, but yeah, it's one of my top faves, and because it's just so well made, and I hope they're gonna be Deadpool 3, right? And yeah, I really can't wait to see more of Deadpool. Number 9 is also a Marvel movie and it's Guardians of the Galaxy. And also both parts, I guess, because I can't choose. Both parts are incredibly good. And because like James Gunn is like my favorite director right now because he's directing movies so good. Like I'm so sad it's gonna be so long to get to see part 3 because of COVID, first of all, and then also gonna be so busy because he's also directing Suicide Squad, which I'm so excited for. And it's kind of sad because of COVID, everything got delayed, the Marvel movies, and we didn't get to see any Marvel movies yet. It's so empty without Marvel movies because actually every year there was always a movie coming out, and now Black Widow was delayed. I think the only like the new Marvel movie is I think the New Mutants, which I'm also so excited for, and will come out I think pretty soon here in Germany. So yeah, also Chris Pratt, I get to love him because of this part. I know he was in the show Parks and Creations, but I never watched that show. And actually, I only know him because he have many movies before. He played always like the best friend of someone, main character. He never really played the main character, and that's why I like him in Guardians because the first movie he played like a main part, and he was so interesting. And That's why after that movie he gained so many other movies like Jurassic World, and he has so many franchises going on. He's a pretty good actor. Because before you think he's just a comedian actor, but that guy can really act well, and he's also so funny. So yeah, the whole movie was pretty well made, and the cast are great. That's why I'm such a fan of the movie, and it's so hilarious. Had action in it, and also sad parts because part two is more sad, kinda. So yeah, that's why this movie had to be on my list. So number 8 on my list is something different. It's the Mortal Instruments. I just had to choose this one. I mean, I loved also like Twilight and the Hunger Games, but it was like toys, Hunger Games, and Mortal Instruments, and I like Mortal Instruments more. Maybe because of the cast. Because I mean, I love Hunger Games. The movie was good. I like Katniss Everdeen, but I don't like the actress Jennifer Lawrence. Josh Hutcherson is my favorite actor. That's why I love the movie. But Mortal Instruments was way better, I think, because of the cast. I love them so much, and especially Jamie and Lily Collins. They have so much chemistry. At first, I didn't like Lily Collins. I didn't like her before, but because of that movie, I like her. And then Jamie, I know him from Sweeney Todd. I was like, what? He's gonna play Jace? I mean, he doesn't look that part, I thought, but he really fits that part so well because he's actually Jace, and Lily is Clary Frey or something. As you can see, my hair is red, and I look like Clary Frey now. So yeah, of course, I was so sad when it got cancelled because it's like my favorites. I watched the movie so many times. The soundtrack was so good also. And even when the movie came out, because I was a fan of the book first. So when the movie came out, I was so excited and I watched it in cinema. I had to see it twice. It's the only movie I watched twice, except Just My Luck, I think. Yeah, because the cast was so well chosen. They all did amazingly good job. And yeah, I know there is a TV show, Shadowhunters, because when the movie got cancelled, the fan base was so upset because actually they have such a huge fan base. So that's why they want to do for the fans the show. Of course, change the actors. Of course, I love the show also. The movie is always gonna be my favorite. So number 7 is the Spider-Man Homecoming. Also like Far From Home actually, because I like both parts. The new ones, I mean. Actually, Spider-Man was always like one of my favorite superheroes as a kid. I think because of my childhood, I always grew up with Spider-Man, like the old Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. I was so obsessed with the movies. I always watched it so many times. And also the new one then, when it came out, The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. I know people hated it, but I loved it. The first part was good. The second part, we just don't talk about it. And of course, Tom Holland, who played the role so good also. Like, I think Tobey Maguire played Peter Parker so well. Andrew Garfield played Spider-Man so well. And then Tom Holland can do both. I think it's good in playing Peter Parker and Spider-Man. That's why he was born to play this role. And yeah, the actors also he has so much talent, have so many things going on. It also makes sense that they choose him because he's like into martial arts and acrobats or something like that. That's why it's like easy for him to train like that because he's so good already in fighting. So yeah, and he has so many movies also, like I think Uncharted. He's in Uncharted. He played the younger one. I love that game. So yeah, I'm so excited also for that. So yeah, Spider-Man is also gonna be my childhood fave superhero. That's why it's on my list. Number 6 is Captain America Winter Soldier. Actually, Winter Soldier is one of my favorite. It's like one of my favorite Marvel movies, and it's also the best ever made, in my opinion, because it's just so good. Like, I mean, Captain America. Of course, I love him. It's also my favorite superhero. It's because of Chris Evans. Actually, to be honest, because of Captain America, I got into MCU. Before I watched it also, I watched like Iron Man, like casually watching. I was like just casually watching Iron Man. I was like never really into it. But then when Captain America came out, I'm such a fan because Chris Evans is like my favorite actor. That's why. Suddenly I'm such a big MCU fan. And then I have to watch like every MCU movie ever that came out because I know it's all connected. That's why. So that's why I became such a big fan. And this movie is just so well made, the dynamics, and him and with Bucky, and then the action sequences. Also, I love Sebastian Stan, so I was so happy when I heard it was in it. because in the first part I thought he died because I didn't read the comics, so I didn't know. So like, what? Oh my god! So yeah, it's like one of my faves. Always gonna be, and I watched it so many times. I was gonna be rewatching it.
Bucky? Who the hell is Bucky?
So now on to the top 5 movies. Like, I didn't want to put Captain America high on the list is because I had to include 2 horror movies that I love so much. And I mean, what kind of horror movie fan would I be if I didn't include a horror movie? So yeah, that's why I included 2 horror movies, and number 5 is 28 Days Later. It's like one of my favorite zombie movies. I know they're called infected ones, and people argue about it that it's not a zombie movie, but technically it is. I mean, of course, it's not. It's kind of different because they don't eat people, and you also get affected by their blood. So if like it goes into your eyes or mouth or like open wound, then you get infected. But still, it's like a zombie movie. I mean, Dawn of the Dead, they also run. So sometimes zombies can run. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's like, oh, every time I watch this movie, I watch it so many times, like I have to watch this every Halloween. And the music gives me so much chills and goosebumps, especially at the end when it got so brutal. And yeah, I also want to say that Cillian Murphy is such an underrated actor. I mean, it's like everywhere. It's like, have so many blockbuster movies, like he's in Inception, and he's in Batman, and like in every Batman movie, even though he played like a small part only. But yeah, he's such a good actor. Number 4 on my list is Final Destination. It's like my favorite horror movie of all times. And I remember I watched it when I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I was so scared. Like, my dad wanted me to watch it, and I didn't know what's gonna happen because he didn't explain to me. He wanted it to be a surprise. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh god, what's gonna happen? And then when they were inside the plane and crashed, I was like, huh? So they die? What's gonna happen then? And then when he woke up, and then that he saw that he was gonna die, I was like, oh my god, it sounds so interesting. And it was so interesting. And that's why it's like my favorite horror movie, because it's so different. I mean, you always know like the old horror movies, they're all the same. Like there's a killer on the loose and he's stalking you and killing you. But there it's so different because like death itself, it's like death comes after you because you were supposed to die on that plane, but you survived because like Alex got the premonition, and so he saved himself and his friends. So that's why death came after you, and that's why it's so hard because you can't fight it. How can you fight death? It's like if there's a killer, you can kill it, but then you can't fight it. It's like you just have to watch for clues, and that's why I find it so amazing because it's so well made done and such a good idea to make a horror movie. You must find the clues and like who's gonna die next and so on. Like in every Final Destination, there's like a twist, like on part 2 also, and then actually the only movie I don't like was the third part. But like 4 and 5 is also so good, and there's so many twists again. And the last part, oh my god, the ending, every time I think about it, it was so mind blowing that it was connected with the first part. When you think about it, Foundation 5 is like the first time it got happened to that guy. So the first part was like the second time only. So yeah, it was so cool how they all connected it. And I know it's gonna be like a new one, Foundation 6, I think. I don't know why they wanna do it because the ending seemed like an ending. But yeah. So now on number 3 is my favorite Disney movie, the only animated Disney movie on my list, and it's Lilo and Stitch. I mean, who didn't saw that coming? Because if you know me, I'm such a big Stitch fan. Like if you see my previous videos, I have so much Stitch merch, like stuffed toys. I'm not in my room right now, it's my sister's room, but I've got like t-shirts and stuffed toys of Stitch everywhere. So yeah, I mean, when I got older, I kind of appreciate the movie more. Maybe a lot of people feel like that. I mean, when the movie came out, it was so underrated, but now it became such a classic, and now I'm obsessed with Stitch, especially in the movie. It's just so sweet. Actually, if you think about it and watch it like at this age, it's more sadder now because it's like Stitch don't know where he belongs, and she wants to find a family. It's like Ohana. It's like the best quote. I was like, Ohana means family. I always was so sad for Stitch because he never feel like he belonged anywhere because he's like an alien. So if you watch my other video that they want to get to know me, I talked about that I'm an alien, my alien obsession. So yeah, and then when he found Lilo, it was so sweet because then he finally got a home. It was actually so sad to think about it. Because like Lilo also lost her parents and she got like her sister. But then it changed when she found Stitch and she kept it like her pet. And that's why the movie means so much to me. And I know for you, some people also. I mean, Stitch became like a big part of people's lives. I mean, until now. And yeah, if you get older, you kind of get more sentimental, I guess. So yeah, it's just a sweet movie. And I just love it so much. That's why, of course, it had to be on the list. Number 2 is X-Men 2. And back to nostalgia. Oh my god, it's such a big childhood, the movies. And X-Men is always gonna be like my favorite franchise also. I mean, Marvel started because of X-Men. Because of X-Men, I've got this Marvel fan. So if X-Men never existed, the MCU would never happen because of X-Men. I got this idea to make this MCU world. So yeah, that's why it was gonna be a big part of my life because I know many people always hate these movies, always hate on them. Like X-Men is like the worst Marvel movie ever, and I always hate it because it's really not. I mean, because of these movies, I started to become this big Marvel fan. So yeah, especially X-Men 2 was so good. I mean, like because the first one was like mostly revolved around Wolverine, but I think X-Men is not Wolverine. I mean, there's so many other important characters. My favorite is always Iceman. It's why I like part 2 because they introduced Iceman, Pyro, Kitty, and other superheroes like, of course, Storm. So all Cyclops are also part of this team, not only Wolverine. And I also like the dynamic with Iceman and Pyro because they're like the opposite. The powers like opposite, but they're like best friends, and then they turn enemies. It's just so sad when you turn evil. I mean Pyro. So yeah, it's also but so I just want to say the movie was so good. The whole X-Men franchise is so good, and please don't hate on it. I mean, what kind of Marvel fan are you if you're gonna hate on it? Just give it a little love. Give it a little love because it deserves too much attention. So we are number 1 on the list, and drum roll please. Which movie you think is number 1? I just want to say it's a Disney movie. It's Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Woo! Yeah, it's always gonna be my favorite. It's number 1 because I like the franchise so much, especially the cast. I remember watching it for the first time, like so in love with the cast. Like Johnny Depp played the Jack Sparrow so well, of course, like the fave character from the movies, like he's the best one. Then Orlando Bloom, this puppy dog look. I had such a huge crush on him when I was younger. He's like my favorite actor at the time. And then Keira Knightley, also we love at the time. So yeah, it's like, I mean, the movie got everything. The action sequences are so good, and this comedy also, and of course sad parts, especially the last ones. And yeah, such really well made movie. And it was like Pirates kind of thing actually. And I heard they're gonna do a new part without Johnny Depp in it. Like what? And they want to do like Jack Sparrow a woman or something. No way they can do a movie without Johnny Depp. I mean, Johnny Depp is the movie. Jack Sparrow is the best part of the movie. They can't do it without him. It's already said when Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley left. It was so different because I love the dynamic, especially Will and Jack was so funny because they're so stupid sometimes, and then Jack's like, it's a funny dude. I love the arguments, but they can't do a movie without Johnny Depp because everyone watched it because of him. So yeah, I probably would watch it if he's not in it. So yeah, that's why it's like my number 1 favorite movie because like it's, especially the first part, it's like a movie I watched so many times and I could always watch it over and over again without getting bored of it. So that was it. That was my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you do, please give a thumbs up. Probably I'm gonna do more movie contents because I really enjoy doing this. And in October, I have so many surprises for you guys, so many ideas. I mean, October is like Halloween, and something to do with horror movies. So anyway, please comment down below what are your top 10 fave movies. Please let me know. I really want to know that. And see you guys next time. Also, please don't forget to subscribe if you want to see me again. So, bye.